one, there's can I get together people out of the
Stand over there and those people. That's good.
Okay, so what would when I say roll a line, and I'm going to be using this term a lot. When I say roll a line, what that means is I've gotten into Michael's 180 here, and he's engaged with somebody in front of him. If I stab Michael, and Michael dies, now I can move down the line and what we call roll the line. Rules of engagement, thank you very much, people. The rules of engagement for melee is the front 180. So that means that anybody who is in front of me here has the opportunity to stab me, whether I see them or not. Okay, so that's really important to remember. That's something that we try to make sure, you should try to make sure as a runner and gunner, that you're paying attention to that rule specifically, but using it to your advantage. Because if Sybil is on my far 180, she's just barely in my peripheral vision at this point. And if I happen to be engaged with you two fighting you at the same time, she's going to smoke and keep it up. It's going to be over. So from 180 is something really important to remember. So now in order to get effective at this position, what these people do is, normally we'll line up 4 and 4, 5 and 5, 100 on 100, whatever. This person that I'm talking about, normally either line up with the line or line up behind the line, and then when they call lay on, they either have free reign to sort of do what they want, they would probably run out ahead of the line and they'll parry, or they'll wait. They'll wait until the commander says fire or shave or whatever, and they run out. They're going to run off and go cause their chaos. So they're really not in the line structure per se. You're going to notice, people that get involved in melee, notice that there's going to be a rigid structure when it comes to a line. People are going to, there's going to be a commander. There's going to be people who are in the center of the line protecting. There's going to be other men that are going to be a little more fluid. This person that I'm talking about, this flanker, he's not part of the line really. He can join the line, but he's not really part of it. So in order to be effective at this particular type of fighting in a melee, you need to have a couple of traits that I think are pretty necessary. Now you can be somewhat effective if you don't have all this criteria, but I think that you need to have a lot of this in order to be very effective at it. Personally, if you're never going to be the best runner and gunner ever, I'm never going to fly a 747. I'm resigned to that fact. That's just, it's a sad fact of reality. Sometimes you just can't. It's okay. Find other facets of melee that are going to help you. But this class hopefully will help you learn how to combat the people that I'm describing. So what you're going to need to do first is you're going to have a pretty good one-on-one fight skill. I'll explain that later. But in one-on-one combat, you should be able to effectively and quickly take out your opponent. And when I say quickly, I mean in under 7 to 10 seconds. You should be able to take your opponent out that fast. Now, it doesn't always happen, but you should be able to, when somebody turns to you and says, kill that person, you should be able to do it within 1 or 2 attacks, and they should be dead. You also need to be able, and now I know this doesn't sound like when I say one-on-one attacks, it doesn't sound like it's going to make sense. It'll make sense in a little bit. You also have to be mobile. Okay? You have to be able to run, jog, and move for an entire, it could be 15 minutes, it could be 20 minutes. You've got to be able to move the entire time. Moving back and forth, jogging, running at points. You got to make sure that you're able and fit enough to do that. So with those two criteria, most people will fit. They're going to do a pretty good job. There's another one that I think is very important. It's tactical awareness. Now we talked a little bit about this last year. But knowing when one of your lines is in trouble, like if 2 lines are in combat against one another, knowing when one of your lines is in trouble is very important because somebody is going to do this, you're going to have to be able to join lines. It's another criteria. You're going to have to be able to join and leave lines. That means that you're going to have to be able to join with a melee squad. Tell them that you're there. Say, I'm on your left. I'm now taking up this position. Let them know you're there. Take commands with them until they're safe, and then leave again. So you're going to have this tactical awareness to be able to do that sort of thing right. So when I say one-on-ones, the reason why I say that is because if you are, there's several things that the flanker does out there. One of the things that they do is they wind up pulling off people to come back. That's what the main idea is. Everybody knows that Michael is a very good fighter. So when they see him out on the melee field, they say, oh, well, this Michael St. Christian, we got to keep an eye on him. Well, what happens if Michael St. Christian peels off? And now he's by himself and he's running toward the side of your line. Any good line commander is going to turn and say, you and you and you go take care of Michael. That's what's going to happen. That's going to happen 95% of the time unless you have somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing. They're going to do it every time. And the reason why is because if Michael's left unchecked, he's going to roll your line, or he's going to get behind your line, he's going to follow you, he's going to kill you from behind. He's going to be a force of chaos in your backfield that you just don't want. So you're going to have to contend with it. So you've got to make sure that for one, you wind up fighting well enough that people recognize who you are and where you're at. If the brand new fighter runs out to the side, sometimes people won't pay much attention. They'll be like, oh, okay, one person fighter. But the more sort of reputation you have, the more people they're going to send out at you, and that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. If I run off to the side and they send Miguel, Michael St. Christian, and Sybil, I'm holding off those three people. They're effectively dead while I'm fighting. While I'm off on the side, they're effectively dead. Now, how long do I last? If I can last 20 seconds, and it was a 6-on-6, my 5 against their 3 might win. Now I'm dead, but now it's 5 against 3. So there's a chance that my side can win, specifically because I ran off to the side. Now that's another vision of the running guard. What's that? Maybe I did. There's a chance that's true. Even there's a chance I might take one of them with me. Now it's 2. They're 2 to their. So it's all about numbers. That's what melee is all about. It's all about making sure your numbers. You have advanced numbers. You have large numbers, and that most of the time, not all the time. Most of the time make it so you win. That's another thing that the runner and gunner does, is that they wind up sacrificing themselves a lot. So there's not a lot of there's really not a lot of glory in this position. A lot of times you wind up either killing no one or getting killed really, really, really fast. But you can wind up helping your team out quite a bit. So when I said one-on-one combats earlier, what I want to say, if I'm being attacked by 2 people, my goal at this point, line up together, it's much easier. Smart ass. Oh, look at me, I know what I'm doing. So these 2 are fighting against me. My goal, what I want to do, is I want to make this a series of one-on-one combats. I don't want to fight them both at the same time. If I fight them both at the same time, it's probably my 2 plays against their 4. So it's going to be very difficult for me. But if I can, at some point, make him move and come on this side, now it's a one-on-one combat for maybe a second, maybe 2 seconds, until he can come around. If I keep spinning, I get a chance to throw 2-3 strikes at Sybil before he can get into my wrist. That's the key, is using your opponents as obstacles against one another. That's a really important thing to notice. You'll see people do this all the time. There's been times I've held off 4 people just by using them against each other. I didn't kill a single one. I never wound up killing them. They wound up killing me. But for 30, 40 seconds, I held off 4 people. And that's really helpful. So I have a drill for this, and I wanted to see if people would be interested in drilling. Yes. I guess we have a parking lot space. It probably would be better because I'm going to be doing 4-on-2s. Okay, so it's probably going to be better outside. We're going to all watch, though. This is going to be the different part of the show. A lot of times people just go out there and do it. Next 2, next 2, next 2. Today, I want everybody to watch the 4-on-2. And then when we're done, we're going to talk about what they did right and what they did wrong. Now, don't anybody take offense if somebody says you did something wrong. It's a learning process. Everybody does something wrong. I do something wrong. I'm doing something wrong right now. Okay? I'm doing something, and again, I'm doing it wrong again. I'm doing something wrong all the time. So don't take personal offense if someone says this. Okay? It's just, it's a way to learn. So why don't we go outside? Everybody grab your gear. I'm going to need people who want to do this. I'm going to need people who want to try to stop people.